So here's the issue we're dealing with. Too many spices, all in this area, stacked in there. You can't see what's in the back. Takes up a lot of cabinet space. And here's how I solved it. In this video, I'll give you a high-level overview of how I built these integrated spice racks for underneath my cabinets. And as you can see, once they're closed, they match the cabinets. I don't know why all kitchens don't come with these things installed in the cabinets, but it gives you so much space. I started by cutting the side supports. I made these approximately 4 inches by 11 inches to fit the depth of the cabinet, as well as giving me enough depth for the drawer that I was looking to create. In order to wrap around the lower lip of the cabinet, I had to cut a groove to accommodate that so that the majority of the blank is sitting up under the cabinet while remaining flush with the side. The next step was to cut a groove to accommodate the bottom of the tray that will hold the spices. I had to make a couple passes to make the groove a 1/4 inch wide. This next step was probably the most complex piece of the entire project. I have to cut a 1/2 inch groove partway through the board, but not all the way to one end, or the pivot piece will actually pull out of the side of the drawer. So after a couple of trials and errors, I finally perfected where I had to make the cut and how far it had to be. Perfect book match. Exactly what we wanted. Here I am milling some boards to approximately 3 inches tall and 3/8 of an inch thick. I'll use these boards to make up the drawers. To provide some extra support to the center shelf, I cut some notches in the 2 sides that the center shelf would attach to. And once I glue and pin nail these, it'll be plenty strong. Here I am drilling 2 1/2 inch holes to accommodate a 1/2 inch dowel that'll serve as the pivot pin on the drawers. Now it's just a matter of gluing all the parts together. I used a new glue that I've never used before from Gorilla, which dries clear. I think that'll help in case I have any squeeze out that I'm not able to get cleaned up. Now it's just a matter of gluing on the bottom. You may notice there's like a notch on the side closest to the camera here. The bottom actually overhangs the width of the drawer, as the bottom will serve as a glide within the sides to hold the weight of this when it's not being extended completely out. As you can see here, I'm just gluing in the dowel pins to serve as a pivot for the drawer. This little strip of wood you see me installing actually serves a couple of purposes. The first thing it's going to do is it's going to keep the bottom of the sides from racking inward. And then in addition to that, when I pull the drawer all the way out, it's going to give the back of the drawer something to lean on so that it stays at a slight angle, keeping the spices from falling out of the drawer. Okay, so I rigged up a little system here to clamp the side rails to the bench so I can just show you how that pivot point works. So basically, as you slide the drawer out, it'll fold down. And notice how it keeps this at a slight angle so that the spices won't fall out. I don't have any spices out here to demonstrate. That's too tall. So it'll hold them at a nice angle like that. And then when I go to put it back up, slide it back in. So it doesn't slide perfect because the way the clamps are kind of pinching it a little bit, but you guys get the idea. As you can see here, I used a couple clamps to hold it to the bottom of the cabinet while I drilled the screws to mount this. It really only took 2 screws on each side. So I started by countersinking and then just driving in a screw about 1.5 inches down into the meat of the side piece to hold it in place. The last step before painting the face and the sides of this is to put the face on. So what I did is I used some double stick tape and I used some cards as a spacer to make sure I had the right amount of space on both ends between the bottom of the cabinet and the drawer. Then as you can see here, I just clamped that into place to hold it until I got some screws put in from the inside. Well, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you can see more content.